What's up guys, Marcus here. Is gonna be reviewing Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey was just released. It was written by Christina Hodson and directed by Kathy Yan. It stars Margot Robbie reprising her role as Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, and Ewan McGregor, who plays Black Mask. There are also like a bunch of other actors because this movie has like 15 main characters. Actually not 15, I'm kidding, but to be honest, it's like 7 main characters, but even though the movie is mostly about Harley Quinn, even though the movie's name is Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn is not a member of the Birds of Prey, but either way, we'll get to that. This movie was awful. I mean, it's a better version of Suicide Squad. Doesn't mean that it's a good movie. It focuses on Harley Quinn trying to escape people that are trying to kill her, mainly Black Mask, after she breaks up with Joker. Like I said, the movie focuses on Harley Quinn, even though the movie is called Birds of Prey, which makes no sense, but sure. I mean, the Birds of Prey themselves have no character in this movie. The only character in this movie who has any character development is Harley Quinn. The others are like very one-dimensional, very, very poorly made, and it's because their motivations are unclear and they're always inconsistent with what we know about them. Also, there's a character that I didn't mention in my script, so I'm gonna talk about him quickly. It's Zaz. If you know him from the comics, he's the guy who kills women, and after he kills women, he makes a scar in his body, or his face, or whatever, any part of his body, with like a marking of any woman he killed. And his character is super fucking awful. But what I wanted to say about him is that Ewan McGregor said that his character was gay in this movie. His character would be Black Mask, but in the movie there's no clear indication that he's gay, that he has any relationship with anyone except for Zaz. But I think they cut their relationship out, because there was a scene that was like super gay between Zaz and Black Mask, but they never show the actual relationship between them. It's like they're friends, but I don't know. I think it's funny that Ewan McGregor said that, like, getting representation of when a main character is gay, but then they cut it out. So that was funny. Now talking about the Birds of Prey themselves. Black Canary is the best of the Birds of Prey, but she still is awful, and her character and her powers are barely explained. Her power is used as a Deus Ex Machina, and I know what you're gonna say if you watch the movie. It's not a Deus Ex Machina, it was explained before and all that, but I say it's a Deus Ex Machina because the way it serves the plot is completely stupid. It doesn't make any sense because it's completely inconsistent. I mean, the rules are different for depending on the person that she's using her power on. There's also Renee, the cop who joins the Birds of Prey, who just does stuff without explanation and a clear goal. We know nothing about her personality, about her character, her motivations. She just does stuff, and we have to root for her for some reason because she's a main character, I guess. But they don't develop her at all. There's Huntress, whose character we barely know until the last 10 minutes of the movie, and whose motivations are explained after she has achieved her goal. Just it's completely fucking stupid. Well, we don't know what she's doing, why she's doing what she's doing, and then after she does it, it's explained. So, like, and the movie has so many flashbacks explaining things, but they never explain that well. If you're gonna have a flashback explaining her character, explain it, all of it. Don't leave parts out of the movie. That's so fucking stupid. And also the actress who plays Huntress is awful as well. She's super fucking bad. She can't show emotion at all. Her line delivery is like super flat. I mean, outside of Margot Robbie and Ewan McGregor, everyone was bad, but Huntress's actress was really, really bad. There's Cassandra Cain, who's in the movie to be the most important part of the plot and be the most annoying and useless character at the same time. I know it sounds like a paradox, but if you watch the movie you get what I mean, because her character, she's only there to move the plot forwards. That's something that will make her not be a part of the movie after, I don't know, half of the movie, but she's still a part of it because the plot needs her to be there so she can have a relationship with Harley, like a mother-daughter relationship, even though that doesn't make any sense because they barely share anything real with each other, anything that will make them grow closer to each other, but we'll get to that as well. Harley has a hyena in this movie, as you know, we see in the trailer, but it's so overpowered that they pretend it was killed, but he actually was alive. They just cut the hyena out of the movie for a portion of it because it was too overpowered and probably too expensive as well, because it's CGI, because, well, they never get a real hyena in the set. But either way, my point is, the hyena is introduced and then dropped, and then we see him again in the final moments of the movie, and that's fucking stupid, because it would be the same as if we didn't have a hyena in the movie. It's just pointless waste of time and waste of money making a CGI hyena. The direction sometimes can be super annoying. There's so many, quick zooms with a very annoying sound effect, but there's some cool framing still. Not for a lot of the movie, but there's some good framings, but mostly the direction is just passable. The fight choreography sometimes is awful, sometimes it's actually pretty good, but sometimes it's really bad, with people just standing behind one of the main characters, waiting for their cues and not attacking them, just staying there pretending like they are doing something, that they're actually stopped just waiting for the actor to do something so they can attack them, which is fucking stupid. It just completely takes you out of the scene in the movie, and it makes it for a very unbelievable experience, so the movie loses any weight that it could have had. All that, especially in the scene where Harley fights a bunch of people in a police precinct. There's like water coming down from the sprinklers, and there's too much water coming out of the sprinklers as well, but that's not a huge problem I have. It's more of a nitpick. But either way, in that scene, there's like, I saw twice at least, an actor standing in the background waiting for his cue while Harley was beating some other person up, even though if all of them went at Harley together, they would have won easily, like really easily, but the movie needs to happen, so they're like, oh no, I'm gonna wait here in the background while she kicks everyone's ass. There's also the scene they tweeted out a few days ago with an awful fight scene. I mean, there's still the awful part where Dinah fixes her hair and the guy behind her with a machete isn't attacking her. For some reason they still kept that. The cinematography was actually really great. The use of lighting and color was really good and could have made a good movie better with how they used it. It's just that it's wasted in this awful crap movie. I forgot to mention in the video, I don't know which part I'm adding this to, but either way, the soundtrack in this movie is actually pretty great. There are, I don't know, 10 songs that are real world songs, not actually, score music. But out of those, like only two I didn't like. And most of them I really liked because it's, rock, punk, and the type of music I like. So I don't know, that was cool. The soundtrack was actually really good. The presentation of the movie wasn't that bad. It's just there are actually some really, really good elements of the presentation, and my main problem was with the pacing and the completely nonsensical story. I would say that this movie wasn't completely trash because there are actually some very good scenes and some pretty good ideas, but they are in the middle of a bunch of nonsense and really, really bad scenes. The good scenes are cut in the middle to show a flashback, like every good scene in the movie, it's cut in the middle and they show a flashback. Or there's like a scene where Harley Quinn starts to sing like Marilyn Monroe in her head, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's a fucking random scene. I thought there would be a context for that in the movie, but there isn't. I don't know if that can count as a spoiler. If it does, I'm sorry, but I don't recommend you watching this movie either way. It would be better if the movie was in chronological order, because every time we need some context, or we need to know who a character is, we cut you a flashback, and it's like there's like I said, the scene in the precinct. Before that, we had like a very, very good scene with Harley in the precinct killing a bunch of cops, and then it's stops in the middle. The best scene of the movie stops in the middle. We go back, we learn everything we need to know. It's like a first we go back, and the first act of the movie is told by Harley. You know her narrating, and it's like 30 minutes, and then we go back to that scene. So the pacing is all over the place. I think the movie could have been better if it was in chronological order, but I don't know, it's already a mess, and if it was still in chronological order, maybe it would have made a lot of sense. I mean, it didn't already, but You know, intercalating the characters and learning more things about them and developing them, instead of just, oh, we now we meet this character, so let's go back for 3 days in the movie, inside the movie universe's time, to tell who the character is, what they're doing, what their motivations are, even though it's always really poorly made and their motivations are always nonsensical. I can't emphasize enough when I say that the pacing is the worst thing about this movie, even though the movie has so many other issues, because the movie is always grinded to a halt when we need exposition to know who some character is, or who or what the context for one scene is, which is explained by cutting to a flashback and making the movie a tonal mess and the pacing atrocious. I mean, the movie's only 1 hour and 49 minutes long, but after it finished, it felt like it was longer, like it had been 2 hours and a half, because it's a giant mess of pacing and tonal consistency. Harley and Margot Robbie were the best parts of this movie. She feels like Harley from the comics, and Margot is really good. Black Mask was awful, and his character was super fucking stupid, except for the third act, when it actually feels like actual Black Mask, you know, from the Arkham games or the comics. But Ewan McGregor tries his best to make this terrible character better. I mean, I can't recommend this movie to anyone. There's a feminist angle in this movie that is really preachy and doesn't make any sense and doesn't add anything to the movie. But I know there are people who say the movie is good just because of that. Because virtue signaling nowadays is what everyone loves to do. I give Birds of Prey a 3 out of 10. Nothing can save the DCEU anymore. They should just reboot it, whatever. I mean, maybe the new Suicide Squad movie by James Gunn is good. Hopefully it is, because it's being made by an actual talented person. And the new Batman movie, I think that may be good, with Robert Pattinson. He's a great actor. Matt Reeves, he's a good director, but I don't know, I don't have faith anymore. Maybe they'll be good, but now my expectations for DC movies are really low, because I really wanted to love Birds of Prey and I really thought it could be good, but it really wasn't. Also, I went to a pre-release of Birds of Prey. You know, it comes out today, February 6th here in Brazil, but I went yesterday. It was like really late in the evening and I arrived home super tired and super late. It would have been just better if I hadn't watched it, if I just went home and slept, because it would have been a better way to spend my time. Just before I end this video, I know there are gonna be people who say, well, I'm a misogynist for saying Birds of Prey is bad, for saying I don't like the feminist angle, you know, but even though the movie is objectively bad, but I'm sure that these people don't know I gave 2 feminist movies 9 out of 10 that came out in 2019. I gave Little Women and Portrait of a Lady on Fire, 2 really good movies. My problem isn't with the feminism, my problem isn't with the message or the themes, my problem is with the quality of the movies. If the movie is well made, I don't care about the message. I just want to have good content to watch. I really don't care about the themes of the movie unless it elevates the movie, and the only way themes can elevate a movie to something better is the movie is already good without thinking about the themes. Like, for example, Fight Club. Just before I end this video, I want to just say that there's a Harley Quinn TV show, an animated Harley Quinn show, where it's basically the same thing as the Birds of Prey movie was Harley Quinn's emancipation, but the TV show is so much better than the movie. It's really funny and really well made, and the characters are likable and well developed. I mean, if you want some good content about Harley Quinn, I really recommend the TV show. It's actually good. It's very entertaining, and I'll make a video on it after the season ends. I'll make a quick review. But yeah, I'll recommend it now, because I don't want to end up this video without, I don't know, recommending you something instead of this pile of trash I just watched yesterday. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, recommend any movies or TV shows for me to watch. I know this review was really fucking long, but I mean, there's just so much to talk about with this movie, because it's really a complete and utter mess. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, next time, bye bye.